Hello, hello, calligrapher friends. Well, there we go. Let me make sure. There, you see me. That's good. It's very bright today, as you can see. Anyway, sorry. Hi, Erin here. Wanted to come on to do my Thursday teaching. Today is lesson number 7 in my Copperplate teaching series on Twitch, or if you're watching on YouTube, then on YouTube as well. Sorry, I didn't want that in frame. There we go. Now it's not in frame anymore. Yay! Yeah, so today we are going to be doing warm-ups like we normally do, although I am well warmed up because I'm going to shout out at Open Ink Stand. Thanks for doing some Mataraz teaching today. So I was just in her class before. So I'm more warmed up than I normally am on Thursday afternoon, which is great. Also, super fun script to do. If anyone has a chance to go and check her stuff out, please go do. Like, you need me to tell you to go look at her. She's so very famous. She knows exactly what she's doing. But yeah, I'm more warmed up today than I normally would be, so that's great. So I won't probably warm up for super long. Then I realized I was going to do today purely just majuscules. But I realized that I had done a lot of stuff with minuscules, but I hadn't done, so I'm just going to close my blind a bit better. Let's see. Where is that sun coming? There we go. Ah, much better. Yeah, the minuscules, but I hadn't done them how to put them and attach them in words. And I realized I hadn't done that. So I'm going to do that a little bit, and then we're going to go into majuscules. So yeah, that's on the docket today. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's see if little update today. In the morning, I had to run to the store to get my worksheets printed out for the class that I'm taking, because I have a printer at home, but it's not a color one, and I wanted the stuff in color, so I had to go do that. I came home just in within a half an hour of my class starting, so did that. Again, Chinlong is a delight. She's so funny when she's teaching, so that was really fun for me to be in her class. I've met her before, and she's wonderful person, wonderful calligrapher. She really brings a good energy to what she's doing, so I hope that everyone gets to take a class with her at some point in time. It's super fun. And then yeah, now I'm doing the teaching, except there's not as many people in the class as there was for her, as man oh man. But yeah, so I guess we'll get started. We shall get started. There we go. Cool. Let's see. How's this camera? We are good. Good. So, I'll start with my warm-up drills. I adjusted my camera a little. There we go. That's good. Because I adjusted my up camera a little bit today. So hopefully we're good. We're not too far off where I normally am. Let me do one more scooch, and then I'm just gonna scooch this here. All right, I think we're good now. Cool. Let me put on my glove. And I'm just gonna go directly on my paper, to be honest today. I'm just gonna go in pencil. Because like I said, I'm pretty warmed up anyways. So, it's all good. I always have to think too, what direction is clockwise? Am I doing it the right way? And then I'm yeah, I'm fine. Let me just see. I think my camera is a bit weird. Let me just give me 1 second. It's a weird color. I'm not sure why. No, not that one. Let me see. Is it my brightness? Is it my saturation? Oh, there we go. Because I was feeling very cold. The color was a bit weird. It's because the one that I look at is the one that's in my laptop. So it's okay, but it's not as good as my other ones. So okay, yeah, it's a bit better. I'm a little bit less ghost-like. Although we'll see. It might just readjust randomly. It's fine. It's not calligraphy. It doesn't matter. Cool. Zoom, and clockwise. So yeah, actually, I'll talk a little bit about the class I was just in. So like I said, I was just doing Mataraz with Chinlong, and from what I've always admired what she does, because she also writes incredibly quickly. It's like Copperplate is like on very slow mode comparatively to like how Mataraz is written. And if you've never heard of Mataraz before, I get it. She's the only person I know that does it consistently. I mean, it could be wrong, but she teaches a lot of people, so I'm sure that there's a lot of people who know how to do it as well now because of her. But she's so Mataraz, anyways, is essentially like a kind of an offshoot of Spencerian, from what I understand. So, and if anyone has looked up Spencerian, it's like very different than Copperplate, which is what we're doing, right? Because it's Copperplate is all about the thicks and the thins, and having that contrast between the downstroke and the upstroke, whereas Spencerian is almost completely monoline and almost completely hairlines, except for like very specific letters. So super interesting to then get into Mataraz, which is kind of like Spencerian, but that has thicks and thins, which is super not how it's usually written. It's super interesting. So like I said, if anyone ever has the chance to take a class with her, or just like even watch, because she's on YouTube, she has her own YouTube channel for, I don't know, past 5 years or so. She has a lot of great stuff on there. I had the pleasure of meeting her a couple of years ago in person, and she's just a delight. I was a big fan. Something too that I noticed as well, actually, with Mataraz was it's so fast. It's like it's super duper fast, which is also very like, I'm not used to working that quickly. Like I can work Copperplate kind of fast if I'm not trying to be incredibly precise, but this is like it's super. It's very fun, very fun. It was nice and fun to have something that isn't maybe as stringent when it comes to rules of how that works. Is a little bit more artistic interpretation allowed. And for anyone who doesn't do any kind of like calligraphy at all, it's like, what do you mean rules? I just write. But you fellow calligraphers out there, you know how it is sometimes. Yeah, like I said, I'm like pretty warmed up, so like I'm going through this like super duper fast. Especially because, like I said, the Mataraz is so very free flowing. So I feel like I've been warming up for the past 2 hours already, because the class was from noon my time to 2 o'clock my time. So I had about an hour and a half in between to prep and clean my office up a bit, because I had practice sheets and like notes and stuff all over the place. So I needed to make sure that it wasn't visible. I had to put it away in my filing cabinet so I can do some homework. Alright. Cool. So yeah, like I said, I was like pretty warmed up, so it was like way faster than I normally do, so. Okay, cool. So the first thing I wanted to do, so because I'm in Quebec, there are certain things that I know in French, and I don't know what they're called in English, or even if there is an English equivalent. So what I was going to do was a thing called an abécédaire in French. So it's like I was going to do all the minuscules all in a row, so you remind yourself of what they look like, and then I was going to do each word, like the 26 of them, with like each letter of the 26 letters in the alphabet. I was going to do one word that, like, A is for apple, B is for bee, or whatever, just so you see where the connections are. I was gonna go through that, I don't know, quickly, if I want to say fast, but maybe like not super slow. I just want to change the song too for my ears. All right, cool. So I will take my pen holder and which nib do I want to use today? I have a lot that I can choose from. I think I'll go for the blue pumpkin today, which is this guy. And I'll grab just a piece of paper towel. Did it work? Are we fixed now? Cool. Thank you. It happens sometimes with my mic. It gets like charged, something. Anyways, it's fine. Sorry for the humming before then. So like I said, I'm gonna do all the minuscules in a row. Sorry, my page is curling a little bit. I'm just going to grab a clipboard. So to make it flat, because I don't know if you can see, but like, yeah. There we go. So actually, I'll start down here then. I'm using a new paper today, so I'm also trying to figure out how it works. Excuse me. It was recommended by a fair few calligraphers, but I've never used it before. It's like it's premium copy paper, like 32 HP premium 32-pound copy paper. And I've never used it before, so it's, if you see any weirdness on the paper, I'm also trying to troubleshoot that. That's always the thing too with calligraphy that I find is you change one thing, but you're like, wait, is it the one thing that I've changed that's making it be weird? Or is it because like maybe I didn't do something before that was good? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of troubleshooting that happens that I don't think people realize. G. Just move that out of the way. Oh, as I'm getting used to this paper, it's very nice. It's like very smooth. There's like no like texture to it, so it's just like glides right along. Very nice. All right, so on to the abecedar part, which is, like I said, it's like, you know, every word will start like A is for apple, B is for bee, C is for cat, something along those lines. Just so you can see how the letters connect to each other. Because this is something that I think is pretty important. So let's say we're doing A. So as we know, we have our entry stroke, we have our oval, we have our underturn, and then this is our exit stroke. So then, but if we're doing apple, the exit stroke of the A is essentially the entry stroke for the next letter. So it's A, actually, let me do that one more time. So it'll be like that. And then we're going to the P. Oh, actually, because this is something as well that I only picked up on this year, because someone was explaining it to me, was if your next letter is not a round letter, like an O or an A, your exit stroke should come up and connect right at the waistline. Sorry. Let's say you're doing an A and then we're doing the P. So the exit stroke would be here up to the waistline, and then we're going to bring this down here. But if this is an A and then an O, you don't go all the way up. You go maybe about halfway. And the reason why is because if you were to bring it all the way up, you would probably see it. It would maybe poke out. from the top here. Yeah. So this is something that maybe you would want to take a look at if you're learning, is that, you know, thinking about what's the next letter that's coming. So if it's a P, we're going all the way up, we're doing the P. And like I went over last time, is I'm going to do two different variations of the letter P. But you see I did that with the E right here. Because it was rounded here, I didn't go all the way up. I stopped right about halfway, and then I did my letter E. So let me do that one more time. So doing it like that. So now we'll go on to letter B. So, and let's do the word bubble because I hate myself. This is the one thing I always forget with the pumpkin, is that it deposits a lot of ink on my page, so I have to dip a lot. I might end up switching my nib. We'll see if the cleaning helped a bit. Actually, let me just maybe do bear, so there's not so many. So it deposited a lot of ink right there. So we're going to try and ignore that big puddle that's right there. I think I'm going to switch I really like the way that it feels on the paper, but it's just depositing too much ink, and I have to dip a little bit too much for what I'm comfortable with while I'm trying to stream, especially if I'm trying to teach at the same time. But yeah, you can see when I was doing the word bear, I kind of went up, and because it was a rounded type here, I didn't go all the way up. Actually, I didn't even touch it, which I should have. Let me go with a hunt. Switch that guy. Let's see if she's a bit better. Hopefully. I don't want to troubleshoot on stream, so let me try and fix this as fast as I can. Let me try that one more time. There we go. It's a bit better. So if we're doing the word bear, we're coming up, going down again, doing our little teardrop. And when I'm bringing it down, I'm not bringing this all the way back up again, like I would if this was like the letter I, for example. Because it's the letter E, I'm leaving it right here, and then I'm going to press down, bring this over, come back up and around. So you kind of always have to be aware of what the next letter that's coming up in your word is, for where you're going to stop your exit stroke, which turns into the entry stroke of the next letter. But a lot of that just comes with practice. So a lot of times as well, what I like to do is, this looked like garbage, is I'll pick maybe characters of my favorite movie or something, and I'll put them in alphabetical order, and I'll just practice doing it like that, because I do like practicing with words because sometimes things look better in context with other letters next to it, versus just like a giant page of A's or something like that. So you can kind of see as well, like I did there. Something I had mentioned last stream too is like something you want to keep an eye on is your counter spaces down here. So this one I didn't hit the baseline, which I should have. But do all of these counter spaces, are they all even? So this is not, but these two are. And then this one is. So looking at the white space is good too. Oh, hello, Killbot. How are you today? Sorry, I just saw you pop in there. I didn't notice that you were chatting. I apologize. How are you? I'm not writing a letter. Right now I'm just doing a bit of teaching on how to connect all of my minuscule letters together. So you can feel free to follow along if you want with like a pencil. You totally can. Because anything that I'm doing with a nib. Oh, in German cursive. Oh, interesting. That would be cool. Actually, random German fact. So there's a very well-known calligrapher that is from Germany that I think he penned the style Neuland. His name is Rudolf Koch. I know very small amounts of German history because I am partially German. My grandmother was German and my grandfather was Austrian. So I have a little bit of like, I like schnitzel. It's a little German in me. But yeah, essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking the, A to Z and then doing one word with that letter so people can understand how to connect the letters together. It's a bit of a series I've been doing on Twitch. This is number 7. This is the 7th week of doing so. And yeah. I'm here pretty much every Thursday at 3:30 my time, Eastern. So with this word here, because I'm doing the word giraffe, there's going to be a double letter, so I'm going to do both of them differently, just to give a little bit of interest in the word. I didn't do my A very well, but overall I think it looks pretty good. I really like just picking like words that have double letters in them. Oh, yes. Father of German calligraphy. Johann, is it Johann Neudorfer? Oh, yeah. This is, I've heard of this. Yes. Love that. Oh, yeah, I have, hold on. I see one of the exemplars that's in this. I have a book that has exemplars, I think, from him in it. Hold on a second. Let me look. Give me 2 seconds. Which book is it? Hold on. I think it's this one. Because I recognized some of that. This is a delightful reference book, by the way. If you're ever looking, it's decorative alphabets and initials. It's really fun. Oh, I think I just saw it. Did I see it? Oh, maybe it's not this one. There's one of them that looks so familiar. I've definitely seen it before. I also have more than one reference book. It kind of reminded me a little bit of this, but not quite. Oh yeah, it's like a little crazy. It kind of reminded me of this, but this is Paul Frank in 1655. But yeah, like it kind of reminded me of actually what you just shared. Thank you for that. I'm gonna take a peek at that article after. Or here we go. It also reminded me of this. I can't do this though, to be 100% honest. This is with a different type of tool than what I'm using right now. This is done with a broad edge pen. I'm using a pointed pen. Or this is done with a quill. Who knows? But I'm not very proficient in broad edge calligraphy. I'm more a pointed pen lady. But yeah, very cool. I'm definitely going to read that after. Thank you for throwing it in the chat. So interesting. Do you know a lot about calligraphy? Have you ever done calligraphy? Do you do calligraphy at all? Go. J comes after JK. Let's just do, I was gonna like do kangaroo, but like too many O's, too long. Let's do the word king. So like I was doing before, I don't know if you noticed, but I go back in and I touch up my work because I sometimes I can't get on the first shot. Like it just is what it is, man. Let's do a llama. since I have an affinity for doing double letters these days. So what I did here for the A was incorrect when I went from the M to the A. As I was doing it, I saw it was wrong because I went all the way up. But I can kind of get away with hiding it because this particular nib that I'm using is pretty, makes pretty thick downstrokes. If I was using maybe like a different one, like a part of the G series of Nico G or Zebra G, I wouldn't have been able to hide that. But yeah, a lot of it has to do with the tool that you're using. LM, let's do mouse. So that E was a bit too close. Can't talk, but not bad. I also have, because I was just in my other class before, I also have a bit of a, because I was practicing, I have a bit of that, that hand in mind right now. Oh, bookbinding. Very cool. A lot of calligraphers I know do a lot of bookbinding. I do not, but it's very cool. And a pen plotter machine. I have no idea what that is. If you feel like you want to put a little link in the chat, that would be cool. I'm going to check that out after because I've never heard of that before. It's me silly, like you're going to put it in there and be like, oh, I know what this is. I just know it by a different name or something. It'd be funny. Yeah, a pen plotter machine. I don't know what that is. That's so interesting, though. I mean, I'm definitely going to look that up after. O and then P. I'm also going to, I've decided, the pages that I do examples on today, I'm going to drop into my Discord. Does my Discord have a lot of people in it? No, I'm pretty sure it's just myself, but that's okay. If people want to take a peek at what's in there, starting from last week, my examples are uploaded onto Discord. So if anyone wants to use that as a reference, you can. Axie draw. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen that before. Very cool. I didn't know what it was called, but I've seen that before. It's very cool. Using pen plotter machines, like what do you use? What? Like, I need more context. Like you just have one at home and you use it, or like you do this with work. Like I need more context. let me do that one again. That's better. It was a bit like high and weird. That one's better. T, U, U, and then V. Let's use the word vector since I finally figured out how to do that like semi-recently, embarrassingly so. I'm using way too much finger movement for my own personal taste right now because I'm off the edge of my thing, so I keep hitting it. Oh, hello. Can I call you Alaska instead of I don't know Alaska? This is what you're here for. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad I can serve you what you want. This is good. Cool. So I don't know if you've been following along with what I've been doing, but I'm essentially just right now I'm going through. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for following. I really appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, essentially I started a bit of a series on Twitch on Thursdays where I teach. I teach calligraphy. So there we go. That's what I'm doing. Everyone needs a little more art in their lives. I'm not a painter either. I have a painting back there that I did. Am I a painter? No. That's from a paint night that I did at home. Love that. That's great. That's perfect. Not to plug, but I have a YouTube as well that I've been just uploading, like exporting my Twitch videos that I've been doing of teaching. And yeah, it's on my channel if you want to go look. And you can literally go follow step by step what I've been doing. Or you can follow what I'm doing today and you can just use a pencil. So they're quite long. They're like about between an hour and 2 hours each. I'm on lesson 7. So I don't know how much time you want to do, like spend doing it, but it's there if you want. You have a paint night painting too? Nice. Yeah, they're fun. I know that like quarantine has not been kind. I believe in you. If you believe that you can catch up, I believe in you. Your only limitations are yourself. Really. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, if you want to, you can totally follow along with what I'm doing. You just need a pencil and paper. Anything. You don't necessarily, like, this is like fancy pants because it's like, oh, it's a pen and a nib and all that kind of stuff. But you can totally, everything I'm doing, you can do with a pencil. So, U-V-W. I need W. All right. I need a word that starts with W. How about wagon? So yeah, right now what I was doing is I was just kind of doing words so people can see how they are connected to each other. Because it's one thing to do letters that are like alone hanging out on a page. But it's different when they're then put into context with the rest of the word, right? Because a W looks different when it's hanging out alone than when you're putting it with a word here. This is really fancy pants. Nice. I'm glad you think so. This is cool. It's good. How did I get into this? So I started doing this 5 years ago because my husband had got me classes with a local calligrapher. Because I was obsessed with watching Instagram videos of beautiful writing. And I was like, I need to figure out how to do this. So I had bought myself a kit without taking any classes, doing any research. And it was complete garbage. It was literally the worst. It was awful. And I got very, very like discouraged. And I think a lot of people get really discouraged when they pick up. They're like, oh, it's great. It's going to be just like writing with a pen on a paper. No. Like, you don't know what you don't know until you try and you're like, it's not working. It looks like shit. Why? Like, why is it it's horrible. But when you take a class, then you have a teacher who tells you, like, oh, this is why this isn't working. You can troubleshoot and you figure out and you can ask questions and you get taught. So 5 years ago, my husband got me a class that I was like, oh, this is cool. This is nice. I'm still not good at it, but at least I understand why I'm not good. Leather, bookbinding, satanic butcher. I am confused as the context. Hold on. What did I ask you? Okay, your bookbinding. Oh, just a list. Okay, cool. I like. Well, because I had asked them what they use their AxiDraw for. Well, whatever you want to use your AxiDraw for. That's cool. And then, anyways, so I did that 5 years ago. I started 5 years ago, and then now this is what I do full time. Lots of things happened in between, but I am now a calligrapher. This is what I do for my job. I work from home. There's just not a lot of clients right at this moment because most of my clients are wedding people. I do. Most of my clients are for weddings or for brands, like in-store brand events. Like I'll have brands will ask me to go in and do things live for them, like for products with purchase or something. I'll personalize a leather bag or like thank you cards or something along those lines. I'll do that for them, but or I'll teach. But because of COVID, most of those things need to be done in person. So I've just been like, well, Twitch is cool. I can just do some of this on Twitch. That'd be fun. How can you hire me for? I mean, you can go to my website and you can go on my contact me form and you can do that. And gold leaf gilding. Jeez. All right. Gold leaf gilding is interesting. I've not done that yet. But yeah, I do place cards and seating charts and anything you can realistically write on. I can do that. Oh, well, thank you. You just need to quit your job and be like, now I do this full time because now this is what I do full time. It helps that I have a wonderful husband. I won't lie. Oh, you're into robotics. Okay, that'll do the thing. Yeah, okay. You're already laid off halfway there. Perfect. You can totally do the calligraphy and follow along. Maybe you can be a calligrapher. Do some practice. I had mentioned, I think before, excuse me, that you gotten in here that as of from last week, I have started on. I finally made my Discord correctly. Instead of just having one with nothing in it, I actually made one. There's not a lot of people in there. I think it's myself, and then that's it. But I've started, as of last week, uploading the things that I'm doing on stream onto Discord so people can just have them as reference. And I did put up one of my guide sheets, which is what this is right here. The machine does the calligraphy for you. Nice. It's you can either think of it as cheating or smart engineering. I remember being into Lego when I was in high school. Those those Lego robots that you would build, and they have a line, and they have to follow the line, the red line. I don't remember what the heck those are called. I don't remember now, but I remember doing that in high school. I'm old, so I'm aging myself. It's fine. Just starting to learn to draw. Fun. Also a poet. Listen, I've done some writing for books. I can very simply bookbind stuff. Very, very, very simply. because I've done some vow booklets, which I have up on my shelf up there as my display. Like, very simply, I'm not a bookbinder. Talk to Killbot. They bookbind. Maybe you guys can collab, and then I can do the paper stuff, and I can write it, and then they can bookbind it for you. I'm making connections for you all. Right? Right. My last one is going to be Z for zebra. Huh, that's so interesting. Don't tell her that. You're going to get me out of a job. Gilding is super interesting. I know a lot of calligraphers to do it. I've just not had the inclination to go and learn how to do it yet. I do the cheap way of gilding, which is foiling with a hot foil pen and some gold, like the gold paper. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I try and be very, I try and keep my chat educational, Like I have any control who is in here. Cool. All right. I want to start Majuscules. That's what I want to start. Because what I was just doing was the minuscules, or uppercase and lowercase. If you think of it that way. I usually use uppercase and lowercase if I'm talking about a font, which is not the same as calligraphy, which is a script. And when I'm talking about calligraphy, I'll usually default to going minuscule and majuscule. But that's just how my brain works. But if someone says uppercase and lowercase, I also understand what they're talking about. So essentially what we were just doing, or what I was just doing, was the lowercase alphabet, and then I was going to start on the uppercase part of the alphabet, because it's like different sets of rules. If you go back into my stuff, like I said, if you go on YouTube and you look, I've spent the last like 6 doing minuscules, so I won't go too crazy into it. But there's 8 basic strokes that build all the minuscules. Majuscules don't really follow the same rules, which is why it's separate and done not with them for me. Also, as a disclaimer, I am not a master penman, okay? This is what I do for my job because I get paid for it, which is great and wonderful, but, I'm not perfect at it. I'm still learning. I always like to try and learn all of the things. I still take a ton of classes, especially now with COVID. There are so many teachers who have decided to put their content online and do online classes, and I'm like, yes, give me all of them. And I'm pretty sure that I've taken more classes in the past 12 months than I have in the 5 years previous, and it's kind of crazy. But anyways, I'm glad that you like it by hand too. I mean, listen, do your thing, man. If you want to use extra, do that. That's cool. That's really fun. Make some fun books, Etsy shop, whatever, that's cool. Love that. Super interesting. Spent a lot of time being a blob. Listen, I was already full-time before COVID started, and I was just I literally just can't sit here and do nothing. At home, I'm gonna go crazy. And thankfully I think it may have been different if I had been laid off from my job and then had to be at home. But because I was already working from home, I already had a plan, and I'm like, okay, I need to kind of move forward and try and learn and figure out, and I can't just sit on my butt for too long with not do I can't just sit and watch Netflix. I literally can't. I have a problem with that now. It's awful. I can't chill. I'll sit on the couch and be like, oh, I'm just gonna watch a movie, but then I'm also gonna check my emails, or I'm gonna take my iPad and I'm gonna draw and try and figure something out. I have a really hard time turning off now, because this is what I do, and there's no line anymore of business and relaxing time, and I'm I don't know how sustainable that is, but it's fine for now. We'll see how long that goes, but I want to continue to learn. I think it's always the thing. I really like learning. So yeah, like I said, disclaimer, I'm not a master penman by any stretch of the imagination, but when we can teach iPad drawing lessons, never, no, never say never. There is a guy on Instagram, if you want to do iPad calligraphy, I think he is doing a class with learncalligraphy.com, and his Instagram handle is Yamo Creates, like YAMOH Creates, like CREATES. And I believe he's doing a class, yeah, with learncalligraphy.com on iPad calligraphy specifically. And I also am pretty sure, I'm knocking on my wooden desk, knock, knock, knock. There is, so I'm part of the Calligraphy Guild where I am in Montreal. So the Société de Calligraphe. So we should be, fingers crossed, hosting, yeah, just the, we should be hosting with our guild soon a free iPad calligraphy lessons with someone that reached out to us who knows like all of the things that are to do with calligraphy online on an iPad. I won't say who it is yet because it's not signed and it's not set in stone yet, but yeah, very, very fun. So if you don't want to necessarily like do the whole ink and paper thing, but you are comfortable with the digital medium, then I would recommend taking a look and seeing. Yeah. The Yamo Creates, I don't know what the price point is for that one, but I think for the one that we're doing with our guild, again, knock on wood, like I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work, but I don't think we're going to be charging much, if at all, because it's just like it's like a Zoom workshop, I think. Anyways, follow the Calligraphy Guild of Montreal on Instagram. And then we'll be announcing whenever it becomes a thing. No. Like, I think it's so funny. People think like, oh, we don't know these things. The calligraphy community knows we all know each other in varying ways. But the thing is, it's still a very small community. And like, not a lot of people are like, it feels like, oh, I know all of these things. Like, how do not more people know this? But the community is still really tiny comparatively speaking to like other people who do stuff. So yeah, like just look up calligraphy on Instagram and you'll see there's a ton of people who do it, but it's really cool. It's like a nice little like calm portion of the internet, which I enjoy. It's definitely very niche. It's very much a community. Yeah, like I've a friend of mine got married a few years ago, and they love Lego. Their little centerpieces for their tables were little Legos that they had made for everyone in like the mini Lego pieces. It was so cute. It was how they table numbered us. It was very fun. If you like Lego and you say you're getting married in 3 years, that is a great idea, and you should totally steal it. All right, so yeah, they had them in like a little, oh, what are those called? Like the little glass domes they put in the center of the table. It was like the mini Legos, and they made little like, one was like a little Yoshi, one was a little Mario, one was like a little, I think, Harry Potter or something. It was very, very cute. And the wife put a lot of time to it. It was adorable. All right, so yeah, back to what I was actually doing, which was trying to teach. I was still waiting for the ring. Okay, fair. How long have you guys been together? Four years next month. Oh, cute. Happy anniversary early. If it makes you, I don't know if this will make you feel better or worse, but I've been with my husband now for 10 years, but we've only been married for the past 3 because he only popped the question after 7. So, so I don't know if that helps or not. You're very impatient. Yeah, it's fine. I was too. I was dropping hints like on year 2, and it just still took him 5 years to like be like, all right, I get it. Oof, that majuscule looks rough. We're gonna like try and ignore how bad like this whole word looks like, just because my nib was dumping ink everywhere. Some majuscule and cool. All right, so the first majuscule or uppercase stroke that I will show you is called colloquially as the line of universal beauty. It's essentially in the S here, it's in the N here, it's in the S here. It's in a lot of majuscule letters, okay? I'm just going to turn my brightness up a little bit. There we go. And I think I will also zoom in a scooch. Cool. So essentially what it is a downstroke, which this is a normal downstroke, although it should be a little straighter. That's a downstroke, okay? But that has a curve here and a curve here, but this part is still straight along. This is at 55 degrees, okay? So we're doing curve, full pressure, and then curve. So be something like that. So this is called the line of universal beauty. And this stroke is in a lot of majuscule letters. Not all of them, but a lot of them. You're distracting me. Hold on, let me see what this is. Oh, yeah, I've seen this stuff before too. Very cool. Yeah, it's colloquially known as that. I don't know if necessarily if that's like a technical term, but most calligraphers will, if I say that, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, so that's what this one is. So like I said, it's kind of like that. It's a downstroke, but instead of just being the same width all the way down, we're doing a bit of a curve, we're going straight, and then we're curving back out again. So it kind of makes it look like it's like curving, but not really, because it's still straight in the middle. Oh, that would be fun. That would be very cool to incorporate that into poetry. It's so cute. So then we're doing another one. Yeah, it's very funny that you have the little Bob Ross thing, because in my last stream I was talking about that I kind of, my husband actually said it last week of like, I would like he's like, you kind of want to be the Bob Ross of calligraphy. And I'm like, that's not an inaccurate statement, because, so I'll give a bit of background. Like, I find that sometimes that people are really intimidated by calligraphy, even though it's not, it's not that it's not hard. It's like, it's just, you know, if you don't have the right tools or the right whatever, like it feels like there's a really big barrier to entry where there's really not, because like I said before, I can do this with a pencil. Like all the things that you do in with a pointed pen, which is what this is, you can mimic with a pencil, like not a problem. So like just making it more accessible and more easy for people to learn is like my goal. That's my thing. You have a paper? Okay, if you have a paper and a pencil, I'm going to switch. I'm going to go into a pencil, and I'm going to make you do this with me. Cool? Cool. It's very exciting. All right, so I have a pencil. I'm going to sharpen it, though. Hold on. pen politter is already done mouse. Nice. Good. I'm glad. You should do it on Twitch, and you can teach everyone. All right, so we have a pencil. It's a kind of a soft, it's just like a 2 HB, okay? So essentially, I'll show you a little quick thing, okay? The trick with Copperplate, which is what we're learning now, is that whenever you're going up with your pencil, it's thin, and when so you're not really pressing, you're just kind of touching the paper, and when you're pulling down, you're pressing. So it becomes thicker, right? So light and thick, actually it's a little bit too sharp. Let me wear that down a little bit. Okay, up, thin, down, we're pressing. So there is a clear difference between this line and this line, okay? Which is kind of what I was doing here on my pen marks. So up, thin, down, pressing. You're not going to get as much of a shade difference with a pencil as you will with a pen, but the mimicking is the same. So let me put that back here. So if you do some practicing on your own, if you do some on your own, you can do, just like this, where you're just reminding yourself that if you're going down the paper, you're pressing, okay? And you're making it thick. And if you're going up, it's thin. So it's very light. And I'll quickly go through the basic strokes that what I had talked about before, which is what are made up of, all the minuscules are made up of. So now you can use a pen. That's great. That's cool. I think they're fun. I saw it and I was just like, oh, my husband's showing me this. He's like, you can make your life so much easier if you use one of those. All right, so we have an overturn line, which looks like this. Okay, so we're going to go up, which is light, and then as you're pulling down towards yourself, you're pressing. So you have a thin and a thick. Then you have an underturn, which is you're pressing, and then you're going like this. So overturn, underturn, and a compound curve, which is like these two put together. So up, down, up, and you're pressing in the middle. And here is light. Are you doing it? Or are you, oh my God, I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Oh, it's happening? Nice. Then we're doing an oval, which is another one. So an oval where we're coming down, we're pressing, and then we're going back up again. So this slide should be thicker. This side should be thinner. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to remember like all my basic strokes. Hold on a minute. My brain just crapped out on me. Where did I put them now? Oh, they're here. I think. Are they? I'm a horrible calligrapher. I don't remember. Where did I put it now? Hold on. Oh yeah, downstroke. Yeah, I got it. So downstroke, which is the one we did before. So it's just like a straight pressure all the way down, and then there's a pressure here. So that's thick. We're doing, this is called an ascender loop, where we're looping on the top. So we're going away, so it's light, and then as we're pressing down, it's here. So it's a little loop. Then we're doing a descender loop, which is pressing and then moving away. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which one am I missing? Oval. Oh, the entry stroke, which is just like this, which is light. So the reason why these are important is because these shapes make up your minuscule alphabet. So let's say the letter A. So letter A is an entry stroke, which is light because they're going up and away, plus an oval, which we did here. So we're coming over, we're pressing, a little oval, plus an underturn. So if you put that all together, it's a letter A. So pretty much that's how calligraphy works, just but with like a nib and an ink and stuff. But like I said, you can do anything that you can do with that stuff, just with a pencil, it's fine. So anything I'm doing, you can follow along with the pencil. Oh, you lost on the whole A? Okay. Entry stroke, which is light and away from you. An oval. And then an underturn. And as you're going down, you're pressing. It's that's the main challenge with it. It's a way, it like, because it's not a natural motion that you're doing, right? There are two ways to do an oval. One way is to start from the top and press and then bring it back. Or this is the way I was taught, was you start at, like, let's say this is a clock and this is 12. I usually start at 1 o'clock and bring it back around and then touch it up again against itself. This is how I mean, both ways are fine. But yeah, so you're up, around. So then there's your A. Or I'll show you the B really fast as well. So entry stroke, which is light. Then we're doing the letter B, which is coming up like the A-center loop, which is light, and then you're pressing. Then you're going back up again. So it doesn't go all the way down, but you're going back up and away, which is light, because you're going away from yourself. And you're like, how the hell does that turn into a B? It's a little thing that's not in the basic strokes, which is, if you go back and watch my videos, you'll see I don't do them A to Z. I do them in letter groups, because there are different letters are made up of the same basic things together. This is something, if you go back and watch my videos, you'll see what I'm talking about, but I'll show you. Anyways, and you just go back up, and then you make a little tiny underturn right here. So when you're doing a word like Bob, it reads as Bob, even though like no one writes B's like that anymore, which is why I usually do this one, which looks more like a regular B. Anyways, this is like the biggest TLDR ever. But yeah, there you go. All right. Oh, I'm glad you like it. This is good. So you can totally keep up though with the majuscule strokes though. I think with a pencil, if you want to do that, you can feel free to do so. So yeah, I'll do the line of universal beauty again. So that's the first one. And then another one is an overturn, which is here and then over. So I'm pressing and I'm moving up and away, and I'm pushing away from myself. So all of this is light. All of this is hairlined. And then this one is called a C curve, because it's kind of in the shape of a C. And then we have another compound curve. Yeah, unless you have someone showing you, like, you don't think about it for sure. I totally understand. Yeah. But I'll just show you too, if you want. The way that a nib works as well is when you're going up, you're not making it thick, but when you press down, the tines will separate. And then that is how you, like, and then the ink will fill in here. And that is how you make those thick lines here, because that's how these are built, right? Cool. I'll believe you. I'll take your word for it. That's fun though. I'm glad that you're learning something. But yeah, like this is why calligraphers are able to do like these fun shapes. It's literally like you're going up and it's thin, and then you press, then the tines separate, and then you go back up again. Just, oh my god, I can't believe it. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, tines are fun. The way that they work is cool. They're hard to finagle sometimes, though. It's hard to make work, but once you get it, it's very fun. Uh-oh, if you're a huge nerd for writing utensils, this might be problematic because it's a very easy hobby where you're like, oh, I just need a couple things, but it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole and get a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? Take my word for it. I have way too many things. But yeah, okay, so we have a line of universal beauty, we have an overturned line, we have a C curve, and then we have a compound curve, all right? And there's going to be other shapes in there, but those are like the most common. But I'm going to do A to H today, and then I'll pick up again next week on next Thursday. So the letter A starts, you can do it both ways. Depends on the teacher you have and how particular they are, okay? But the letter A for me starts with the line of universal beauty. So we're curving, we're bringing it down, we're going away, we're bringing it back up, and we're doing a little dot right there. That's how we're starting it. And then here, we're still on, this is 55 degrees here, which is specific to Copperplate, the 55-degree line that we're going on. And we're doing a line here that's like that downstroke that I had mentioned before. So but instead of doing it thick the entire way down, I'm starting with no pressure, and then I'm pressing, and then I'm finishing it off here. So it's kind of, you know, we're going here, oops, line of universal beauty, and like this. So these two here are still on that 55-degree line. So they're on that same angle. And then to make it an A, this is a weird shape, okay? So bear with me. We're going from here, and we're going to go left, and we're going to go up, down, and then bring it back up again. All of a sudden, there's an A. So it's a very strange shape, and we're not really putting any pressure on it. I put a little bit here, but we're going from the bottom up, back around to meet itself, and then away again. And then this is kind of like the exit stroke for your A. The other way to do the A, like I said, there's two types of teaching, is you start from the bottom and you go up. So it's still the line of universal beauty. It's just completely thin. So you're going up and you're bringing it down, up and over. So it's essentially the same shape. It's just this one has weight on both sides and this one only has weight on this side. It just depends on what you would like. Ooh, I got a WOW all caps. How do I decide which to do? It depends on the overall feel of the piece that I'm doing. If I like to do a lot of flourishing, okay? A lot of the fun, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Usually my flourishing is all hairlines. So to make sure that for me that there's contrast where my word is, for example, I will usually do something like this, where I have the contrast on both sides, so you read it like it's an A. But if there's not a lot of fluffy flourishing, and it's just like the start of a sentence, for example, for like a poem, something like this is perfectly fine. It just depends. Also, I should also say that the rules that I'm saying right now are like rules more or less, but I'm also not an expert, right? This is the things that I've learned from the books that I have and the teachers that have taught me what to do. But there are a lot of people who do calligraphy who do things differently. And I kind of like, there's a bit of an artistic interpretation of certain things as well. So like at the end of the day, if I like the way that it looks, it's the one that I'll go with. If that, yeah, a bit of a personal twist for sure. So that's the A. So then we're going to do the letter B. So the B, will have a little bit of this little overturn in it. So the letter B is difficult, I won't lie. I'm not the best at it. It's also because we don't do it when we're writing things down, we don't use majuscules a lot. Like 80% of our writing is to do with minuscule, so I'm much more practiced with that. So bear with me. All right, so we're going to do line of universal beauty. So we're going to come a little bit of a curve, coming down, moving away. All right. I usually like to end it with a little dot. And then we're going to do, like I said, this little overturn. We're going to start here. Going to press, move up. Sorry, I have to do this in one shot. Like this, and then like this, and then over. Okay, sorry. I had to do it in one shot with it because if I'm going too slow, it doesn't work. Line of universal beauty, we're doing the overturn from here, pressing, moving up, it's thin. As we're coming up here at the ascender line, I start to go down. So then there's a little triangle that lives here. And as I cross, I start to press right above the waistline, and then I come back out again. So technically this should have come out a little bit more. I'm not mad at this. No, I have to show everything. I must. And then we're pressing, we're going down, we're coming up again. This is also good for me though too, to be honest, like because I do usually teach, but because I haven't taught someone one-on-one in like almost a year, I'm like, wait, I have to think about things. I have to, like, how do I explain what's in here in a way that other people understand while I'm doing it, right? But yeah, so essentially the thing that you need to keep in mind is as you're coming down, you're pressing, and as you're moving up, you're not, and you're pressing. Virtual class, yeah, I did teach someone virtually, but the thing is when I teach virtually, I want to see what they're doing. So they have to have a camera that is movable. It's not just like a one-on-one, because I want to correct what they're doing while they're doing it. Because that's why I don't really do virtual like workshops that I make people pay for beginners. Because it's really tough for me to see what you're doing if I don't see what you're doing. Because that's how you learn, right? So like I want to have them have like a camera on their hand. So the student I just had a camera like above like I have here, so I could see what her hand was doing, so I could tell her how to hold the pen and stuff. It was a lot easier. Well, you have 3 cameras. Oh boy. All right, well, if you want some one-on-one, I mean, listen, you go to my website, the contact me form, that's fine. I can teach you. It's all good. Yeah, cool. So there's the B. Oh yeah, another thing with the B as well is that this little bowl and this bowl, this one should be slightly in from this guy. So moving down, up, over. Yeah, the little triangle was something I had picked up from a teacher, and I was like, that is great. Look for the triangle. If the triangle is there, it's good. Because most people want to end up like, most people want to do this, like, and they want to go over, they want to overshoot it, or they'll do something like this, where like the triangle's there, but they're pressing too hard, and it's a bit weird. So that's fine. B's are difficult. B's are a very difficult one to do. So now we're moving on to the C. So the C is, we're starting with that, I had done a little C curve up here. So that's what we're going to start with. Okay, so essentially this is kind of like a flourish. This is how we're entering into the stroke. So we're doing a C curve. We're going up. When we're going to meet that ascender line up here, you shall practice your B's. Perfect. I love that. We're going to go up, and then I'm going to go down, and then up again. So this here, this thick line, that downstroke, should be more or less on that 55-degree line here. So we're going, the thing that's tricky about the Majuscule C is that we're switching directions. So there's an oval here, and then we're coming back up, and then we're switching and we're doing another oval this way. I'll do it in my pencil as well, so then I can show you with some colored pencils after. So it's kind of like that. Something that I like to think about while I'm doing my letters, as Copperplate is based a lot on ovals, so I look for the ovals. Yeah, the C is definitely easy compared to the B. The B is, she's challenging. Is here, there's an oval, and then here is another oval. So essentially the C is like two ovals that have crashed into each other. One is horizontal, and then the other one is vertical. So if we follow that logic, we're going here, we're coming up, we're down, we're doing that again. So this, like, it's when in doubt, look for the ovals. That's kind of the vibe, especially for things like a C. So the D, the D is can also be a bit of a challenging one, and I'll show you why. There's two ways that you can do it. So we're starting with the line of universal beauty. We're pressing down, and then right here we have to kind of flatten it out and do like a sleeping oval. Yeah. So we're coming down here, sleeping oval, and we're bringing it back up, and we're going back up and then pressing here. So this is all done in one stroke, which is why this is hard and why my D looks really wonky, because this should have been like more out like this. So I'll try that again and see if I can do it a little bit better this time. So line of universal beauty, going down, sleeping oval, and then back up, over, press, up again. So this here, again, we're looking for that little triangle that lives here. He'd wake up, for sure. I have written calligraphy on skin though before. I have, that's, yeah. Just like a perfect D right here. But yeah, I have done on skin before. It was challenging. It was an interesting challenge. It was for an ad campaign for a brand. And then the other way to do the D is you do it in two separate strokes. I've designed tattoos. I've never actually done them. Like, I've had people ask me to do them before. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. It's no problem. I just don't want to tattoo them on you. Yeah, so line of universal beauty, sleeping oval here. And then instead of continuing going back up again, we're pressing. And then we're doing it in two strokes, and then we're meeting it at the bottom. So it just depends on what your look you want, what type of look you want. Like the A, where this one here has the thick on both sides. This one has thin and thick. This one has thick and thin, and then this one is thick and thick. It's just because like it's sleeping on the baseline, like it's on its side. Because normally ovals are upright like this. So when it's this way, it's just kind of, that's kind of how I refer to it as. It's a sleeping oval. But it should be kind of small too. But it's more for the space. Let me do it in pencil. So there is an oval here. If we're going to continue this line here, there's going to be another oval here. There's an oval here, There's an oval here. Like, there's ovals everywhere. Like, Copperplate is all ovals all day, every day. All right, so we have to do our letter E. So an E starts similarly to like the C, because we're going to start with a C curve here. We're going to go up, but instead of like the C where it goes all the way down and then up again, we're going here. We're making a little oval, and I'm bringing it maybe not quite to the waistline, then I'm going back up, and then I'm going down again. So here you can definitely see the ovals for sure. Oops. You can bring it all the way down to the waistline if you want. Depends on what you like. I'll do it honestly both ways. It's fine. Tattoo transfer paper. Oh, Ben, that would be crazy. Some of my calligraphy is pretty detailed though, and like the thin lines are really thin. I don't know if it would work. It would be interesting though. I do know there's a calligrapher I think in Vancouver who does do like boxes. What's the word I'm looking for? Like calligraphy monthly boxes or quarterly boxes or something. And I think she did like a transfer tattoo thing that was calligraphy. I don't remember her name now though. Something to Google. Oh, cool. Yeah, because I have carbon copy paper here. I use that for when I'm transferring stuff to dark paper. So, oh, that's very cool. Interesting. Today I learned. You need a rainbow. But yeah, here I'll show you where the ovals are. So, C curve. So we have an oval here. We have an oval here. We have an oval here. And like that's kind of what we're looking for, right? So the thick here and the thick here should be on that 55 degrees. So this one was a bit off because it was a bit more angled this way versus here, but more or less should be like that. And then we have our oval here. Now we're going to do our letter F, which is a line of universal beauty. And there's two ways to do the F as well. So, or the way that I do it, there's two ways, which is we're starting with that overturn, coming up and over. And then I cross here, just at the waistline. So line of universal beauty, overturn like we're doing a B. But instead of coming back over, I am moving back like a little wave, I guess. Or you can do it the other way around, which is line of universal beauty. And instead of starting on the left and moving to the right, you can start from the right and then go down and then move back up again. And then you just cross it here. So it just depends on where you want your shading to be. Because this one, it's shaded here and then light and then nothing. Whereas this is pretty much exactly the opposite because you're moving the opposite direction. And then I just cross here. Sometimes I'll do a little fun little flick. Sometimes I won't. You don't have to pay a lot of, I don't know where you are in the world, but if you're in the States, John Neal Bookseller is a great resource for Americans. Okay, John Neal Bookseller online, Google them. I recommend getting basic stuff. You do not need expensive things, okay? Because I think that that's where people get really upset too. I use this thing all the time, okay? I will show you. If you really want to, and like I will give you a recommendation. This is called the Dual Pen Holder from John Neal Bookseller. The reason why it's a dual one is because this is called a flange, and the flange can be removed. which means that you can do calligraphy like with an oblique pen holder, like with it, because it's on an angle, which is what I was using before. Or you can take that flange out and then all of a sudden it becomes a straight pen holder because it also fits straight this way too. I wouldn't necessarily use this for a pointed pen, but that's just my preference. A lot of people do, but it's used a lot for people who do broad edge calligraphy, like italics or Gothic or something like that. So I think it costs $12. Maybe 14. It's not expensive, like, because sometimes, like, this here was a Christmas gift for my husband, and it was like hand turned and stuff. I don't even know how much it was, but it wasn't cheap, right? You don't need this, okay? You literally need something just like this. It's fine. The one I would highly recommend, don't get it. I know it's really cheap, but it's cheap for a reason. I hate it. It is, do I even have it anymore? Did I throw it away? Oh no, it's here. It's this guy, okay? It's the one from Speedball. It's garbage. Don't get it, okay? A lot of other Speedball products are great, except for this one. It's the one with the plastic flange. Don't do it. It's horrible. In my first Twitch stream where I was teaching, I went off on a tangent for about 10 minutes how terrible this thing was. Just don't do it. And if you're beginning, I recommend, there are many, many nibs. I recommend either a Zebra G or a Nico G. And then if you want, because they're a little bit more stiff, or which means that when you press down, the ink isn't going to just pool. Or if you want something that's a bit more flexible and a bit more pointy, but it takes a bit more finesse, it would be a Hunt 101. But I think John Neal has like a beginner testing kit of like nibs or something. But nibs also are not very expensive, just generally speaking. I think they're like $2 to $3 each. Like, it's not a very expensive, because these are consumables, just also as a thing. You're not going to keep these forever. Like the nib part, which is this guy. Oh, I'm glad that you're enjoying. But yeah, if it is something that you're interested in, you can always feel free to just like whisper, or if you find me on Instagram, you can DM me and just ask. I'm more than willing to give you ideas of what you can and can't do. And like for paper and stuff, because sometimes paper can be like a weird troubleshooting idea. Ooh, very cool. I think everyone's mom used to do calligraphy. I think my mom used to as well. Let's see. All right, we have 2 more letters to do. Let's get these puppies done. All right, so we're going to do letter G. So it starts similarly to the C. So we're doing a C curve. We're coming up. We're going down. And then we're coming up here. So it looks weird right now. It's not done yet. So this is all in one shot. And we're coming down to about midway between the waistline and the baseline. We're coming back up again. And then we're lifting our pen or our pencil, depending on what you're doing. And you're pressing from a little bit above, and this is where your line of universal beauty is going to be. It looks a little bit different, but it's basically that same shape. So I'll do it now a little bit faster. C curve. There we go. There's the G that I was looking for. So let me do this in a pencil. Oh, that was not good. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that's a thing. It can turn into a Y. That's cool. What probably happened is that you did it like this, right? It was too open. My recommendation is push this over. Yeah. So go over more and then come down. Because you don't know the guidelines, is like I would just like even just write them on your paper and just do something that's kind of at 55, just so you can kind of do it. So when you're coming back over, when you're pulling down here, you're pulling down on that 55 degree. And then when you're going back over, this is also 55. So you're not having too much space in between. So, because you like if it's too open here, this is where where if this is too much to the left, that's where the issue happens. So it's a mixture of this being too far over and this curve here probably being open too wide. Yeah, because if you push it too far, it's going to do the same thing. So you kind of have to aim for this line to go back up again. And all of a sudden you have a G. And then we have an oval here. We have an oval here. We have an oval here. We have ovals everywhere, again. All right, and then our last letter for today, literally all the ovals. Copperplate is based on ovals. Ovals all over the place. And then we'll do our letter H. So we're going to start with our line of universal beauty here. Then we're going to do a cross right here. I'm going to go up, acenter loop, bring it down, move away. If you look at the minuscule stuff that I've done before, this is essentially what a minuscule L looks like. And then here on this side, you can do a compound curve or, oops. You can do an overturn like that. You can also do it all in one shot as well. So this one will be all in one with no lifting of the pen. So we're doing a C curve. We're coming up. We're coming down. Wait, actually, how did I do it last time? Because I just did this for someone. How did I do it? Sorry, I'm lying. Forget this. I'm lying. Yeah. So this way. Here. So you can do it like that as well. You can also do it this way. Oops. It just depends on how you want, but the basic H. Oh, I'm glad you like the when the videos get uploaded onto YouTube, there won't be music, so you'll be able to hear the ASMR even more. Yeah, the basic one is just line of universal beauty. We're ending it there with a little dot. We're gonna cross, bring it over and down, and then up again, and then you can just decide how you want to start it on this side. You can, do a C curve. You can do, like I did before, you do a compound curve. You can do whatever you want for the entry. Doesn't really matter. It just depends on what you're looking for. So there we go. There's my starting of majuscules. And my minuscules. And all of the things. Here. Anyways, yeah, here we go. I'm glad you loved it. That's cool. Love that. Fun. So if you, like I said, if you do end up going through my other videos, and you don't have a pen, use a pencil, no problem. Most of my work that I do in pencil first anyways. A lot of other calligraphers are like, yeah, just go right in with the ink. And I'm just like, you what, brave? I can't. But once you understand the basic way that the letters are built, more or less, actually, I'll switch. Here. Once you understand how the letters are built, you can use those techniques with any real thing. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's to really like make you remember and give you that muscle memory. So, like I said, like once you understand how things are built, you can really kind of go ham with on whatever you want to. If you have, if you want to do it on paper, if you want to use markers, if you want to use, yes. So the glove, the reason why I have this is hands are naturally oily. And what happens is when you're going over the same paper a lot, the oils will tend to transfer onto paper, onto the paper that you're using. So then sometimes the ink that you're using will won't adhere correctly to the paper, and you'll get it will bubble a bit, like or you'll have like weird spaces. So I bought a 5-pack or something off of Amazon for, I don't know, $10 or something, and I have them. So I use them most of the time. And also because when I do my iPad calligraphy, just so my hand like slides on the screen well. But yeah, it's a lot of other calligraphers, what they'll do is they'll just use like a piece of paper towel or something underneath their hand as they're going, which is what I used to do too, but there's been more than one occasion where I've knocked that paper into my wet ink and then I've ruined whatever I've done. So I'm just like, the easiest thing is for me, honestly, to wear like a half glove while I do it. So that's good. But yeah, once you understand the rules, you can really implement them wherever you want. You can do with like marker and like I said, like those ink pens, which I use for weddings and stuff. If you're doing like acrylic signs, or I have an engraver and I do like calligraphy engraving. If you have a minute, I can show you what I'm talking about. I have them. It's because they're just right there, so it's easy for me to like pull things down. But like that. Let's see. I'll move this out of the way, and I will switch cameras again. So. It's because it's my office space, but also my when I was allowed to have clients over, it's also my display, so I have to keep it somewhat clean. So this is engraved. This is just because I have a hand engraver. So, yeah, essentially you just use an engraver and you do it all by hand. I've engraved once on stream before, but I can't have the volume on because it's really intense. The sound, like it's very aggressive. So there's this. Then, you can do it on. I did this a while ago, so like the calligraphy is not super good, but it's not etching. It's literally an engraver. You can do etching, but I have like it's a thumb engraver. A lot of people will use Dremel with the nibs attached, but yeah, this is by hand. Like I said, I have a thing. So, and then place cards or whatever, and this is like ink. That's an iridescent gold ink with some handmade paper. I was just making some samples of. Yeah, there is a video up on my YouTube of like the Twitch stream that I did it, but the sound, like I had to turn it off because it's anti ASMR. It's really bad. And then this one I did. And then this one I did last week. So this is just a wine bottle that I had taken the labels off of, and then I engraved a flower, and then I filled the flower with gold. So, I mean, once you understand how things are made, and how things are built. Or actually, I just have an overhead camera. There we go. Once you understand how these things are built and stuff, like you can really gonna go ham with tools. Because that works, and that's really fun too. Let's see, what else do I have? Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And then I have other, like this is on like handmade paper that I did last month, I think. And then this one was for International Women's Day. And then like this is Copperplate, but this is Copperplate, but it's not at that 55. It's like this, right? So once you understand how things work, you can kind of do whatever you want with them. But yeah, I live really close to a paper mill, so it's really easy for me to get handmade paper. I'm very privileged in that. So I'm very lucky to be able to have that as a thing that I have access to. Not everyone is lucky like that, so I take advantage. I have so much. This is turning into a show and tell. Because there's an art store. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's fun. But there's an art store that's also near me that where the paper mill is, they sell them their offcuts, and you can just buy a bag of offcuts of all their handmade paper. So like, it's just like the texture. This is really fun. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these things yet, but I have them, and I just have like a bunch of them, different colors and different textures, and they're good for pictures, honestly, as like backdrops for things. I've been to it once and I've seen how they make things. It's really cool because sometimes the reason they're able to get such crazy texture is because sometimes they'll press it between giant planks of old wood, which is why there's like weird. Oh, thank you for following. Yeah, I was actually thinking like some cool subscriber stuff would be really fun if I could like maybe send, if they're okay with it, like send like thank you cards, like actual like physical thank you cards to people. That would be sweet. Yeah, that'd be super fun. Like, you know, be like thanks for thanks for subbing, or whatever, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, send like a physical thank you card, because like I like sending thank you cards anyways. When COVID started, I had done for all the local stores and stuff that I would go to who are like struggling, I like wrote, I don't know, 60 thank you cards and mailed them to them because it was like, oh well, I'm at home, I can do it, why not? That was kind of fun. And I used to also work at a paper store. If you're in the States, you probably know what Papyrus is. Like the high-end card and gift store, kind of like a Hallmark but on steroids. I used to run one here for many years. Any paper staining? I don't, but I usually will do a watercolor wash on the back of stuff if I need to, like if I need some color somewhere. But yeah, I used to run a papyrus store, so I have a lot of really nice like letter paper and all that stuff. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I worked hard on it. You should have seen the first iteration of that thing in 2019. It was rough. Thank you. Wix is nice. The one thing I need to do still, which I have not done yet, is do a French version of my website. That's the next thing. I'm really curious what you mean by paper staining, though, Killbot. But Because like these papers that I have here are all paper that like that were in that offcut bag that I bought for like $12 or something like that, and now I just have like all the paper. I have to like, I need projects, I need things to do with them. But oh yeah, so I will try to remember to get this up on my Discord in a reasonable amount of time, and I might redo these guys just so it's a bit clearer if anyone wants to take a look at them and actually like use them as notes. But yeah, I'll try and do that. But if there is, because it is getting dinner time over here, I am the hungry. Oh, tea dyeing. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen. Oh, cool. Thank you. You're like one of me, and I think my husband's in there because I had him doing some testing for me. So yeah, it should work. Let me know if there's something silly in there that like I've forgotten or whatever. I try my best. But I would like it to be a kind of a community of people who can, I mean, don't necessarily even need to watch me, but people who just want to like learn or do other things. Other calligraphers, if they ever want to come in and pop in to like see that, would be cool. Because a few of them have popped into mind, like that I know personally, who are also on Instagram and have like a pretty large following on Instagram, and they've popped into here, and I'm just like, I wish I had my Discord done there. I'd be like, guys, come in, come and hang out. Oh yeah. There's a guy on TikTok who does that type of paper staining with coffee, because he does D&D maps, and he makes them himself, and they're very cool. I don't remember his name. Did I save it? Anyways, there's a guy on TikTok who does things like that, where you can take regular paper and do that. It's very cool. I am not that creative. I like Lord of the Rings. I don't think I could redo the map though. Oh boy. Yeah. D&D maps are very cool. Very cool. Like, I remember watching the video going, that is so wicked. Man, very awesome. You could probably do that with your machine. With your thing that you have. You can probably make some. Very cool. Oh, that'd be so cool, Alaska. But no pressure. You don't have to. You've been taking a break from streaming? I get it. I've only just kind of started streaming, so like I'm not at the I need a break part yet. Oh, I was gonna say like you can't use the pen to do the like map part. Maybe can you program it to do that? I'm not sure. I do have to. I'm looking at the time. I'm just like, oh my god, I am hunger. Yeah, I try not to have my streams longer than like maybe 2 hours, 2.5, and then like that's it. Especially because I'm not gaming. I'm usually like trying to explain something at the same time, and if I like, yeah, if I'm streaming for longer than that, I get real tired. But yeah. Oh, cute. Love that. Well, we can be internet friends. That's totally cool. Well, Killbot, I just gave you a new idea. Some D&D maps with some stained paper. That would be cool. But yeah, it's cool. That's cool. And I think from there, I think I'll end my stream. because it has been 2 hours. I just looked at the time. And I'm like, I am hungry. So I'm going to make some dinner. Be cool. But as an FYI, I stream Mondays 90% of the time. I do stream on Mondays. And then I also stream on Thursdays. So for the teaching stuff. So, you know, once I'm done going through the Majuscules and stuff, I depends on what people want. I can go through... I'm having alphabet soup, maybe. I have some in my cupboard. That'd be fun. But if we have alphabet soup. I don't know if we're having it, though. That'd be really funny. But yeah, like I stream Mondays at 3:30 Eastern. I didn't last week because I wasn't feeling up to it. I didn't really have a plan, and I'm pretty sure I have an idea for what I'm going to do Mondays that'll keep me streaming and doing calligraphy, but in something that's like kind of interesting and fun. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to start doing song lyrics and just like doing the calligraphy, keeping it really chill, but just having more room for conversation instead of me trying to get on and being like, what am I doing today? I don't know. Anyone have any ideas? I have no idea what I'm streaming. So at least this time, like, you can absolutely recommend songs. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, keep me on the straight and narrow, you know, not too big of a head. It's cool. Robots are taking over the world. I get it. It's fine. But yeah, you can totally recommend songs. Like I was going to start, like, I'm a massive fan of Paramore. So I was just going to start like if no one had recommendations for me, I was just going to start with like, you know, their first song on their first album. Start with that. And then, yeah, Thursdays, 3:30, I'm back. I'll be continuing with my Majuscules. Get ready with your pencil and your paper. There we go. Cool. All right, guys. It's been fun. Yeah, I've seen them like 4 times in concert. It's great. I'm like obsessed. Anyways, okay, cool. Don't get me on a tangent because I need to eat. J'ai faim. There's some French for you of I'm hungry. But yeah, so I'm out. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Thanks for all the questions. Keeps it interesting. Stay safe, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.